So here's something really interesting about the whole John Gotti and the Floyd Mayweather fight. Uh, John Gotti's sister, I believe her name is Nicola or some sort of something like that. She went and said something about Floyd Mayweather's daughter, which is okay, most part because when you're dealing with combat sports families or anything like that, they're just always going to talk bad out the opposition's family or anything or say something bad about them to that particular extent, and that's just what you're going to get out of the whole situation. Just that's just what it is, right. You're just not going to get any positive out of people, and why should you? The problem is that they use a lot of racial implications with it, calling them monkeys or animals or to that extent, zoo animals was the exact words that she used. Now the monkey part, I don't think she said anything of that, but I do remember Floyd Mayweather accusing Conor McGregor of saying something to that extent, dealing with or McGregor. He may have quoted him to some degree, but yeah, that's the reality of combat sports. But one thing to find really interesting about that is you notice a lot of refs, right? They always have things to say about the Italian mafia, but in a very positive way. And little did they really understand, nor they know that they say a lot of racially inflammatory statements behind the backs of African Americans, right? So it's just weird when you see these rappers name themselves Gotti or name themselves Capone or name themselves after these Italian mobsters to a certain degree. It is kind of strained that. So I just thought that was really interesting that that you came to the fold. I would have never imagined something like this would have happened for an exhibition with Floyd Mayweather, let alone a fight between John Gotti and Floyd Mayweather escalate to anything like this. But it did. It's just what you're gonna get out of, like, well, that's just real you're gonna get out of that situation, right? Right. Of course you're gonna say things like this. And of course Floyd is gonna get himself in these situations. Although I don't know, you can't really Floyd for any of this, right? Although there was situations where he got into it with T, where he got into it with 50 Cent, where he got into it with his baby mom and his family members and things of that nature. You can always cite those situations and be like, we can see and understand why Floyd in the mix of trouble with these things. But then there's just sometimes where he's like, well, he had nothing to do with it at all, and this is just one of those situations. Now you have McGregor. He's got about 48 hours left to report USADA. And what exactly does that mean? Well, he has to go out there and test himself into the drug testing pool of being clean of past drug tests from here on out, and he has to do it for 6 months. Otherwise, Michael Chandler is going to walk out and not fight the guy and find a different for 2023 because Chandler doesn't want to waste his career away. He wants to fight straight away. And Conor McGregor, one can argue that maybe he's taking certain supplements that requires him to taper off or cycle off to a certain degree. So this is the reason why maybe he wants to wait around for a bit. And then you have John Jones, who is the main topic of the combat sports today in terms of who's he going to fight. Is he fight Plavkovich? Is he going to fight Steve Miocic? Is he going to fight Zingano, which ironically is not going to happen? Here's what I think about Francis Ngannou and John Jones. I think that fight is this generation's Riddick Bowe versus uh, Lennox Lewis. And why do I say that? Well, the reason why I say that is for the simple fact that Lennox Lewis and Riddick Bowe fought each other. There was a time where Lennox Lewis was the mandatory for Riddick Bowe's DC title, and because of that, he went and vacated belts. Now, not to say that this is the same thing with Francis Ngannou, but Francis Ngannou was scheduled to fight John Jones somewhere down the road, and of course he had these contract negotiation issues that he did, and eventually just went to PFL. And then here comes John Jones fighting for the vacant and undisputed championship against a guy that won 5 rounds with other than Francis Ngannou, which is Cyril Gunn. So this is the situation you have going at hand right now. You have a situation where Francis Ngannou is now gone. You have a situation where John Jones has maybe a couple fights left in his career, and he mentions that he wants to go out on top, just like Amanda Nunes did recently, just like Khabib Nurmagomedov went out on top, just Floyd Mayweather went out on top, Joe Calzaghe, Andre, the list goes on. He wants to be one of those guys, and the way that he's going to do that, well, he's going to do that by means of beating the guys that he needs to beat right now, and then riding off into the sunset. Well, that's what we have going with John Jones right now. We're trying to figure out what his next fight is going to be, and if he's going to fight after that. Look, the guy has been a champion since he was 3 years old when he fought Shogun Rua, right? And then nobody knew what was going to out of Jones when he was fighting the likes of Matt Hamill, Steph Hunter, and then that. John Jones became the light heavyweight champion when Shogun Rua and Rashad Evans supposed to fight back 2011, but because of certain injuries that Rashad Evans had, well, Jones had to come in there and be the late replacement against Shogun Rua, only for John Jones to become the youngest light heavy champion in all time. So now we have a situation where John Jones is now a two-time heavyweight, a two-time UFC champion in different weight classes. And one can argue he could have been a double champ had he just kept those belts, but you gotta keep in mind that the 205 had to be active at some point. So here we are. So it's really going to be interesting to see what kind of matchups they're going to have with John Jones. It doesn't seem like there's people that they have in line to fight him in terms of like the long lines of names that he's going to have to go through in same similar fashion he did at 205. He went through Rampage, he went through Leo Machida, he went through Vitor Belfort, he went through Chael Sonnen, he would go over to Shera. Who else were the names that had in there? He went through Alexander Gustafsson twice. He went through Oven Saint Preux. He went through Neil Cormier twice. So there are a lot of names out there that he had in the 205 division, but in the heavyweight division, it seems very, very thin. He just has Sergey and then Stipe Miocic, and that's it. It doesn't seem like he's interested in fighting Ida. Doesn't look like he has interest in fighting Tom Aspinall. If Tom Aspinall can get there on time, if he can string a few to really get him interested, and even then, he's only got names left. So what it seems like is the only name that he's got left is none other than Plovich and Miocic, and that's it. So we'll see what goes on with this, right? I'm going to come back and do this live stream again, and be on the lookout for my upcoming video, which is set to premiere in probably 13 minutes, which is 3:30 West time. So that's probably 6:30 p.m. Eastern time where you're at. So don't forget to click and subscribe, and I will be right back with stream in a minute.